Was that? Been a long time.
Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome. We have another book discussion and we have the generations that are here and we're going to talk about it from our own view. So I am Generation X.
Generation Y. Yeah.
I'm
Who y'all is?
millennial.
Millennial.
Millennial Y and
Yeah.
I'm a millennial.
I was born in 94, if that helps.
I was born in 93, so
Okay, there we go, millennial.
you're
Yeah.
millennial. Aki is a Z gap.
you got the gap.
Okay, welcome.
It's been a while. It's been a while since we last did this too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you all, we are talking about Black faces in white places. And the author is Randall Pickett and Jeffrey Robinson. So we're going to do the introduction. And then we're going to end up you will see us the next one. So it'll be on the YouTube channel as well. So the reason why I chose the book is because I heard him on one of the Karen Hunter shows. It's a Sirius XM station. I'm like, and then also when I heard him, I'm like, that's the guy who played on Apprentice. That was the Black guy who won on Apprentice. And I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and let me pass it through the guys and ask if they want to read this book. So that's how we chose the book, and be on the lookout for the other books as well. So let's go ahead and what did you all like about what we were talking about? What happened between, because he's doing an introduction on why he decided to write this book in the introduction. And it goes about what happened with, what's that girl name? The lady name?
Was it Lauren?
Rebecca Jarvis.
Yeah, the
Jarvis.
Rebecca Jarvis. And have anybody ever had anything happen to them like that at a job?
Not necessarily in the same aspect, but I have noticed that I'll bring up an idea and it'll get shot down, but somebody of male, different descent will bring up the exact same thing, literally. And they'll be like, you know what? That's a great idea.
Like I think it's all about the perception of it. I think that's how it happened. Like even people who like in relationships with somebody, like you would say something to your significant other and they won't get it, but as soon as they friends say it, it sounds totally different. Like just because of the way that they actually view you, it go tell exactly how they taking.
Do you think it's also based on stereotypes that they have about Black people? They're seen as what they call thugs, seen as non-professional, and then because Randall,
that's how they saying, yeah.
But Randall had his qualifications was way more prestige than this Rebecca.
That was ridiculous.
Like there's times to where I see at jobs to where if they're gonna go for who they like or they want to bring in who they like compared to who's qualified. So you can be extremely qualified, but if they just like that person that much more and they have the power to do it, they're gonna try to pull them in because we don't know.
But for this Randall was it was a competition.
Yeah.
It was a competition. He won everything. He won everything. She only won one thing.
You got to remember who was the judge too, though.
You're not president no more.
Like he was that judge, so like that's what I'm talking about. Like kind of like what everybody's saying, the same thing, just in a different aspect.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one person is saying it as they see you as this already. Like, and I'm saying like it depends on how they feel about you. So that's really how they seeing you, you know, like all in the same aspect.
Well, how do we break
Like-
that stereotype? Or it's up to us to break that stereotype that they're seeing that.
I mean, it's all, I think this is what he kind of talking about. I'm guessing let's go get into the book. I mean, obviously it's not gonna work for everybody, where everybody go have their different ways of actually executing it. But at the end of the day, because one of the things called strength in numbers as well, I think. So I think that probably ties into it as well. If everybody doing the same thing, then they gonna have to end up going with it. Like 4 years ago, the NFL was saying like Black Lives Matter, like it was like trying to put it down, put it down, put it down. Then after the George Floyd situation happened, they just see which way the wind blowing, see which way the wind blowing. This is how we go take, you know. So then they got to a point where people in the NFL, when they were saying all lives matter, after that they was getting fired. Like I don't think they mind change framed at all. They just thinking about one thing, and that's getting bread. But it's still a perception that it perceives. They seen America's perception went one way, so they gotta go with that way. Otherwise, they go lose money.
So not going against.
Like, don't go against the grain. Like the masses is what pays them. And like, look at what happened to the baby. As soon as he became wanted again, they put him on everything.
Everybody looking at that, like that perception view of you, and it's like, and we just happen to have the skin that gives them that.
But like you said, if
that,
you
whatever.
if you look on page 3, it said all Black people are considered failures, but if you succeed, you're the exception.
Right.
And I'm like, but we done proven and reproven ourselves. We have the highest education. You have the more percentage of people, but yet they don't want to. I guess I don't know.
I would say they would want, you know, for us to be who we are, but comply to like
Their standard, yeah.
their standards.
What they want.
Okay, like I seen on the 85 South show, I forgot what his name was. Be light skinned. He was like the joke was, it was like, once I cleaned myself up for an acting skit, there was like, oh no, he's too fresh. He looks way too good. He was like, dang, do I gotta like, you know, like the only way for them to accept you is like to be like to be what they expect you to
So
be.
the stereotype. So they're looking at us as a monolithic group. Everybody that's African American, we're the same versus individuals.
Yeah, but if you do something successful, it's individual. But if you do something like if you're the only Black person at work and you do something bad, if you late or something, then they first thing gonna pop in their head, Black people late. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really not like that. Like with I say the
Other ethnics.
yeah, I was gonna say white people.
and I thought I was gonna look this up, but I'll look it up later for another recording. But I know inside of the census, the race white includes other races.
Mhm.
It's just not of European descent, and they vote who's gonna be according to be white. So white is really not a color. To me, it's like a club. You're part of the white club because Middle Eastern Europeans are considered, not Europeans, Ethiopians are considered white in the census. Look it up. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna talk about. I end up bringing it up. But yeah, if you go to the census and they have a whole group what considers to be white in there, and it's just not.
Like, are you German, right? Are you Polish? Are you like what are you? Like, right. I think that's why it's the thing. Like when people say Black pride, or African pride, or Mexican pride, or they're actually talking about a specific culture. Like a culture. But white people say they're talking about the color.
Mm-hmm.
Like because it's all different type of white cultures. Like, but which one are you celebrating? You saying white pride? Like that's American. You know what I mean? Like that's you know what we was founded upon and why we even having this convo in the first place. For real.
I've had it to where when I was in like an executive level meeting, they were like, "Oh, are you like an intern?" I'm like, "No, I'm a coordinator." What do you mean? Am I an intern, bro?
Like what they had asked that same person that,
right? Or you can't even say it was my age because there was another guy there. We're the same exact age, and he was like Asian, and they didn't ask him anything. So I'm like,
the ethnic perception of what's already built from. You know, we can go to ancient towns, but what has been built to this point is a standard of a visual aspect. So if you're not as of this ethnic, then we're gonna look at you as how individuals were treated in a certain period of time. So we're gonna like, okay, yeah, I don't believe you. Let me just judge you off the fact that I do not believe you just because of what color you are. Like that's where that's coming from.
Yeah, it's kind of like quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Like most of them black right now, and they running
And it
more
used to not
athletic.
happen. It used to, I mean,
Yeah, because they used to say like the quarterback position, we was good for the athletic part, but we wasn't smart enough to go through reads and make decisions and break down defenses. Now they see we can do that and run and take off. Now you see where the league going right now. So like even Lamar Jackson, he just won an MVP 2 years ago, and they try to convert him to like a receiver or running back and not be a quarterback, but he stuck by his guns and said, "No, I'm gonna be a quarterback." And they had to go around that, and then look what happened. MVP year.
yep.
Did you guys see the article on the director of Black Panther? He tried to make a $12,000 withdrawal.
I just saw that.
Yeah, and they cuffed him and everything, and they had their gun out, but they didn't mention the gun in the title. But in the pictures, he had his gun out.
Let me have a gun around me. That gun would have been in the title. You know what I'm saying?
But he I guess he can't get 12,000 out, right? He don't.
Yeah, right. And he was with two other people. They were waiting outside for him, and they put both of those people in the back of the cop car too, and they were just sitting outside. Like,
Yeah, like to them, it's suspicious for a black man to pull out too much money.
Man, look, I can explain that. There's like, Mama, you grade papers, right? You had applications that came in, or like seen applications that came in, and you've seen what type of ethnicity, like, you know, a certain individual is, your classmates and certain things like that. That comes in with transcripts and everything. So, I mean, I know myself. There is a system. That's always a system for everything. No matter if you do 1 + 1 = 2, there's a system that makes that happen.
You try to stop, but you end up trying to remove that stereotype.
Yeah.
And also I believe with the stereotypes, the media plays on what the stereotypes. I mean, because they were like, all black men are bad, all black. I'm like, dang, all the black men I know are successful. That it's against the stereotype that the media is playing.
right.
So I'm being programmed to believe that's how black men or black women are supposed to be.
They're being taken over by the media, taking over what you're seeing.
That's why on Instagram, they're about to shorten like reels from a minute to like 7 seconds.
Yep.
So where they're like, okay, if somebody's speaking influential advice, you don't have enough time to be like, okay, yeah, they're right. Let me act on that and start doing what I need to do to get to where I need to be. Now, when that time is shortened, you're like, okay, next reel, and they over there do twerking and dancing. You know what I'm saying? So they.
And then you know, like the attention span of people nowadays ain't nothing.
It's really short, right?
Yeah.
Like goldfish.
So even if you got to go to another one, they probably like went somewhere already.
So let's move on to the next area. It says, I'm looking at page 5. It says, from the glass ceiling to the ever-changing game. And this gave me an aha moment when I read that. I'm like, yeah, it is in the glass ceiling. It is a game, because when he went in and started describing why he's calling it a game.
Yeah, it's definitely a game. Like in anything that you like, even if we say like in different ways, like you running game. You feel me? Like I'm game for this. I'm ready to do that. Like even that's a game on how you use the word game, depending on what environment you in. You know, like it's a reason that it's like that. So it's like I wear many different hats or whatever. You know, like I hoop with some people, I work professional with people, just be chilling with certain people, rap with certain people. So it's like different environments that I'm in, and basically is a game in each one of them environments, even how you talking and how you moving. Like I'm not finna move the same way I do around here the way I do around here. So basically just knowing that, like that's just another
Like code switching.
Basically, yes, code switching. Yep. culture, and we have to be really good at that.
Yeah, you gotta be good at that. Because in these circles that we automatically brought in, you gotta prove that you can't do it. And
Mhm.
there you gotta prove that you can do it. So it's like a different stigmatism. Like if you in our community, you come over there, you could just be in the corner, shut up and don't say nothing. They finna take you serious. Like off that alone. Like you go up in that environment, you gonna have to do something to get to that point of like being taken like that.
Well, like how it says, ever changing, regardless of where you are. Like how you said that too. I start page 8 at the top. Oh, basically said the strategies that we will find in this book is we have found that it's most effective for African. Okay, so basically he's going in for the introduction stating that the strategies that he's going to introduce in the book is going to end up working with to understand the game and how the different type of game. Okay. And I like the statistics that he included as well.
Yeah, like how certain things came up, certain things stayed the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I got something saying this. And I did this to you, Dre. I always told you work hard and get an education, training, and cornerstone is the success for any race. But when it comes to us, we can have all the degrees in the world. And like we were saying, if you're not seen a certain way, or if we don't know the rules of the game,
Mm-hmm.
Things got to change, because a lot of us have done what we're supposed to do, but the rules of the game.
And then at the same time, you still got rules that was put there and people use them rules against you, like affirmative action. Yo, like they'll assume you just there for that. So I need to know, like, if it's 100 applicants and y'all need a quota of like, I don't know, 10% black, am I competing with everybody or am I competing with the black so you can make your quota? You know, like, cause what if they just need 2 African Americans, but 3 is overqualified? Are they gonna say we can only choose 2 of them and we're gonna choose somebody else?
Right, choose me, and that's in here. Like,
how do I know that?
Am I considered a professor or that's happened to be black, or am I a black professor?
Right.
Am I a software designer, engineer that happens to be black, or am I a software engineer, a black software engineer?
And like,
With identity.
like when it says the game, like the game is basically constantly changing. If you're light skinned, they automatically consider you white because you're multicultural or biracial. You're no longer black like you used to be. And I hear that a lot out here right now.
Oh, that's happening in San Antonio.
Oh, San Antonio, New York, like a lot of people,
like on a job application, they probably filling out other.
Man, look,
Yeah,
it happens
like,
no, like what?
I mean, technically everybody other, you know, like
Right, technically, yeah.
like they're saying that, like it's a thing that's going on that says, oh, if your dad's white but your mom's black, you're considered white. If your mom's like, if it's the other way around,
like whoever the father is, that's
yeah, it's kind of like, and that's kind of like what gets to me and makes me think, okay, so this game is constantly changing. So now they're trying to make it to we're not only competing with other groups, we're competing within ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to break the culture from inside by manipulating you through media.
So why is identity important to Africans? Here we go. Oh, what it said, so in here, they say we're going to talk about, what's it, that chart, right? You all, identity, society, opportunity.
Meritocracy. Yeah, that same.
Yeah, it's a meritocracy. Meritocracy. Yeah, meritocracy. That's it, meritocracy. So basically being judged on your merits.
Well, you can use Lil Nas as an
Yeah,
example for
like,
that. Yeah.
Which they use Lil Nas.
As an example for that, because didn't he win a country music award and they tried to take it away from him?
They took it away from him. And
They did?
On it. And then when he put Billy Ray, they couldn't take it from Billy Ray. So that's
he was like, I got him. And that's why that connection is important as well, because you're gonna need people on the other side to at least try to see it like you would.
But country started with black people. Country music started with black people. That was
rock and roll, all that. They take
rock and roll too.
50 years from now, we're gonna move something else. They gonna say they invented. They gonna be the rappers. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be doing something else.
So,
Where we come from.
so where are we at, you all? So what we're gonna do in the book, what he's gonna end up doing is discussing the dimensions. So identity, say the M word,
Mediocrity.
mediocrity.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I ain't cheat either. I was just coming off the dome with that one.
Meritocracy.
Meritocracy, meritocracy.
I want to say
Meritocracy.
meritocracy so bad.
Me too.
Meritocracy.
Society
Hey,
and
man.
opportunity.
Hey, first person to call in right now. Give us the real way of saying it.
You can Google it. It'll tell you on Google. You
When
write
people
it in.
even say that stuff, you got it. Oh, they actually say it.
Yeah.
No, because they be saying they be calling Simeon. They be calling Saucony Saucony. I mean,
Oh, okay.
That might actually.
It's
I don't know.
meritocracy.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
Saucony.
So merit and then tocracy.
It's meritocracy.
Meritocracy. Meritocracy. That's it. Meritocracy.
Meritocracy.
I got that right the first time.
It's just
I'm finna put that in the rhyme.
See?
Yeah, I love to hear that.
Yeah,
And we gonna put that in the rhyme. Levitate.
meritocracy. My you know.
Need no pause, ain't no apostrophes.
So we're going through, so we're gonna let's see. What it say? I gotta start on 14. When we ask these questions of ourselves, we did some soul searching. Oh yeah, racism. Does racism exist? That part.
yes.
Say hey.
Does racism exist?
Yes, called hate. Hate exists so strong that it creates racism. Hate is the cause of.
Unnecessary.
We're talking about in the book, but in the book there, what did they say in the book about no color? They didn't say color, they said colorblind. Was it colorblind in the book? Or
They said our people.
Does America see color?
right, does America see color? And we know that's a misnomer.
Yeah, like the example with the thing earlier with the dude just doing this, being white. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ain't see that, or even like Eminem, like he definitely a cold rapper.
Yeah.
But and it's like they like, oh shit, like it's like when a white boy could hoop. You know what I'm saying? Like do they see that the other way? That's what I was trying to like
Okay, so if they
think of
see
like that. Like
and you
look,
know what, that happened to me one time. I was working as a like we were saying, working as a software designer, and the guy came, he's like, well, Nichelle, you're really not black because you're light and look at your nose, and so you have some features that brings on your intelligence is not from the black side. I was like, so you're saying black people are not intelligent? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying. They backtrack real quick.
you just said it like in detail. You feel me?
Right.
Like,
One saying where they be like, oh, you act white. So you mean to say me being intelligent is me being white?
What does that have to do with right?
Like, I know I got on the do-rag and the hoodie, but y'all know how articulate I can,
We end up code switching. We know how to talk when you end up code switching.
I'm comfortable right now. Y'all wear y'all do what y'all do to be comfortable and intelligent at the same time. We do what we do to be intelligent and comfortable at the same time. It's a different perception because it looks what we said earlier.
But it would be good to have somebody of another race to come and answer their question. So if anybody see this video, we need a response. We would like to see a video response of how was it? How did you say, Dre?
like if the same way that we look at like white athletes, well, I'm not even gonna say white athlete because white people they know for shooting, but if one that can like yam on somebody or something, like the way they look at him, or like an Eminem or a white rapper, like is that the same the other way when we're in their
environment?
Yeah.
Like Darius Rucker.
Oh, acting right.
It's like at that point, it's like, oh, it's called you should be good at basketball because you're black. But this white boy cold.
Right. But or even with rhythm and dancing.
Like I said, the dude was just right here doing this. He like I want to see the video. Like all he was doing was this. He was like, I'm just thinking with my Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Listen to Kevin Gates. I saw that.
yeah.
Like, you don't ever see like a singular, you know, black person jamming and like somebody else is recording them like, oh yeah, he jamming. Like you'll see it as it being like for like
Normal.
narrative
It'd
for
be
the
good to see from their perspective, find from their perspective, seeing,
black
okay,
person.
if y'all see somebody, or say classical music, if you see somebody who come in who could play the violin real well, or you saying, oh, wow, they're really good playing the violin, or they're really good playing the piano for that type of, like that for classical, but I love classical music.
Yeah, we come from there.
I mean, I was listening to country yesterday to one of my favorite artists had a song called Tea and Whiskey. His name's Blanco Brown. Guess what? He's a black man that makes amazing country music.
It's no, I'm not though.
Every time it comes on, I tell my husband he's black.
I wouldn't even know one of my
Just so you know, like even to have to say that, you feel me? Like even.
I mean,
have to
but
say
even
that,
though,
like, you
okay,
already
like
know.
Tina in my generation, well, it was really my mama's generation, Tina Marie, she's blue eyed soul. She's considered to be blue eyed soul, even though she's white, she's considered really, she's part of the black culture.
Yeah. And that's crazy with us because we'll bring y'all in like happily. You feel me? Like,
Justin Bieber. Come on,
like
man.
Let's see a family
even-
coming in, but yeah.
even Bill Clinton, all he did was
And
you
look,
feel
the
me? Like, we was
saxophone.
like, man, Bill
Look.
Clinton, you come on too, man. You
So we have, so what we're gonna do, so I want to go, so the book, what it's gonna do is broken up into 4 parts. So what we're doing, we are reading each part and coming back and discussing instead of chapter by chapter. Right, Coop? That's how we're gonna do it. So it don't have to be drawn out every week. So we're gonna, for this recording, we're gonna end up having part 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 more recordings. So we're gonna end up reading each part. So Dre Lavelle, you can't wait till the last minute to read the part. Because it's
it's fresh in my head though, man. It's fresh up here though.
because part 1 is how many books? Part 1 is how many pages?
These parts are like 40 pages long.
Yeah, I'm gonna say each one probably got like probably 2 or 3 of the steps in them.
Yeah, it's called part 1 is 60 from 21 to 86.
21 to 86.
Unless you want to do it by strategies.
No, I think go and do about parts, and we can talk about each strategy. As a matter of fact, what we can do is I guess we can
Yeah.
share
I think we should do it by part.
by parts, and also let's see who's going to focus on what strategy. We can still read that strategy, but let's choose
Like, which one stood out the most.
right which one you're going to focus on. So we'll end up sending as a text on which strategy we're going to focus on. We still read it, but the person who's going to guide and lead that discussion will be the one who's going to focus on that particular strategy. So coming from a generational view, let's start with Generation Z. What
Oh,
what do you think that, based on the introduction, what do you think you're going to get out of this book?
to me, I say, to be honest, is whenever I read a book, I look for the author's standpoint. I want to see what they're thinking the entire time. So what I'm looking for is basically these authors' perspective on pretty much the race war that's going on.
But do you think you're going to be able to apply these strategies, since the book is about strategies in order to be successful in organizations and things like that?
I feel like that I would. There's one chart on here, right here on page. I'm sorry, I can't speak on that page. We're not there. But wait, well, I can speak on this part. Okay, so like on page 17 to where he shows 7 and 8, when he's saying it's called in traffic
Apprenticeship.
entrepreneurship versus
entrepreneurship.
And when he's showing how that pretty much goes back and forth, like that's something that I actually play with already when it just comes to marketing. when it just comes down to me showing myself or selling myself, I use that all the time because I feel like people on average get bored very easily, exactly with that attention span being so low. You have to switch back and forth between the two constantly and sometimes within the same sentence just
So
to
what we're
hold.
gonna try to do for each part is put yourself in these different strategies and see how you can apply it every day.
Yeah. So and then like I'm pretty sure like kind of like everybody and everybody thing, like everything ain't cookie cutter. But he did
Right.
say he asked like a whole bunch of people who were successful and up in that echelon and gathered information to even write this down. So we probably just took all that and then just put it down how he'll do it. So that's basically what we doing at the same time.
Right.
Saying like I might use 2 and 7 more than anybody else. I might need to use 3 on this day, never use 1, or and just depending on like how you are and kind of feeling yourself in that role on how you will move while doing it.
I feel like I can apply this to increase my social media following. I was like, oh, okay, this makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna do this.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually kind of like, y'all know the last like book reading that y'all had, and I haven't read the book, and I was, Trey, you remember, and I was like speaking on things like that were going on in real life that you guys were tying into the book. So me, I'm catching up with the reading. My book is coming, but within that aspect, I've already like before even coming to this reading, like I've been building like that type of aspect in my social media because I'm already got anti-socially introverted as it's gonna get, but my following as to what I can bring to and the digestion that I'm saying, do it articulately is like my following is like going up to like it's crazy. Like I'm getting like 300-400 every time views every time I post a story just off of me masterminding and bouncing between one and one here, one there, just to give myself out there and the right representation to where I gain organic, like real people that's gonna, mess with me for me because of how I am. Like I've already kind of like been
Of that.
Yeah, it's like on the social media aspect, the most important part is identity.
Yeah.
Because people could care less about anything else. They want to know who you are. They want to follow you every move.
They want to believe what they want to believe. And if you can make it that believable, they're going to believe it.
Perception is definitely reality.
Yeah.
So I'm sure this book is going to give us a lot of nuggets that we can use in order to, in our lives, social media, shoots on our Instagram, our TikTok, our YouTube.
Even going to the grocery store and walking up to a cashier you never seen before. Like you might have to use just the representation of yourself to get a point across, or like, yeah, this is what I need. Like it 0 to infinity. It's going to happen no matter what. Social media, your job, getting the car, tying your shoe. It doesn't matter. You can use any moment to get to that next step of your right mind.
I think I'm gonna enjoy redefining the game. That strategy with when they're talking about synergy.
Because a lot of stuff in here. Also, it ties back to 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and also the other books we read as well.
50. Yeah, I'm finna say like it all like ties in.
Everything ties, all the books so far we read is tying in to everything, and is just applying it at a deeper level or more of and creating that, like you said, that synergy, that serendipity.
Let's call it. Here's one question I do want to ask, and we do have all the generations here, and some of us that's in the middle of generations. Does racism exist in the 1%?
I think it's money.
Yes.
Well, I
wouldn't say racism.
No, I mean, I'll say like once you're up there, like if a black man say Jay-Z's next to someone that's also
like I was just about to say Jay-Z. That's the first name I was going to say. Like,
so are they looking at Jay-Z or are they looking at his money?
I think they're looking at his power.
Even look at the Super Bowl.
Like, yeah, they say he said he was go quit if they get to do that halftime show.
Yep, Drake.
I mean, so he's still flexing his power, like kind of like the dude on Apprentice or whatever. Like when he was like, both of y'all could do that. He was like, it's only supposed to be one of me, right?
Right.
Like no, like this mine. Like don't change the rules now. Like I did what I was supposed to do.
And then, but you see how they turned around. Social media made him seem like he was a bad guy because he
Yeah.
wanted to his own single win.
Yeah, like I won. Like,
Right.
I'm not finna give you my like. If you were the one, I wouldn't have wanted to like hop on your shit. Like,
Right.
Gonna have to split half the money. Mm.
Right.
yeah.
I mean, posting.
I'm thinking deeper than that. Like, you gotta understand where, okay, Jay-Z is at this monument of where he is because of what's been given to him of like his route of accomplishments, but where does that giving come from? Like, you gotta understand that, like, okay, yeah, he may have a short or like a period of say so, but it's but the power now, today's power only comes from financial success.
Yeah,
and where that money comes from is not from.
So like I think at one moment, if like say like Jay-Z and Kanye just completely erase their history because they got things going on and come together, with both of them being really, you got one of them is the richest black man in America,
and you
have another one that's
right there, willing to
yeah.
Think above. So
even with Kanye, they really trying to character assassinate him real bad, and he don't care.
Yeah, Kanye doesn't care.
But that's that Chicago mentality. That's y'all. That's how you
already big
I wouldn't even say a Chicago mentality, because I know at one point, once we get to where we're actually trying to go, we will have to decipher from what's fake,
what's real and what's fake. Yeah,
you know it's gonna come a point, like even in regular day activities, we don't realize it. That's why I'm real big on memory. I even have it set up as a sticky note on my mirror. It says, remember where you come from, remember where you're going. So to where what that means for me is, okay, I know where I came from and how I got to where I need to be. I just know that when I get to where I'm going, I still have to be solid enough to, like make it make sense. And that's his process of doing that. When he called himself Jesus, nobody wanted to accept it. But genetically, we have the, we have the right to say so.
It's like the only thing I say I probably, well, not even the only thing, the one thing I think about the most is my B, because I love understanding and learning more about where we come from over what we already know, and I know where I want to be. I'm just always caught up in how we gonna get there, and what steps we can take. And
so what we're gonna do, this is one of our roadmaps. Going back to the book, and I can't wait till we end up talking about all the books we read, bringing everything together.
That'd be nice.
Gotta catch up.
Because the next book after this is going to be the Chris Gardner's book.
Yeah, Chris Gardner's book.
So the next book we will end up doing. Hold it up.
I like this one.
Permission to Dream.
Yeah, I like this book.
That's a nice yeah.
So that's the next one after we finish this right here. So we end up finding those connections between all the books. So welcome everybody who did listen. Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right.
We'll see y'all later. Generation to generation.
All right, y'all. All right, bro. All right, cuz.
All right, bro.
All right, mommy. Mwah.
Mama.